Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming racing in Hong Kong and try to examine an element of a race that we might look back on later as having been crucial to the result. Well, it's the final day of the season on Sunday, and apart from needing to back a winner, racing fans will have a couple of things that they're looking out for, and one of those is Zac Purton trying to chase down Joe Moreira's 170 win season record. He needs 5 winners to do that. And the other little side play, or front play if you like, is the battle of the two Johns, Size and Moore, as they fight out the trainers table. And John Size leading by 2 wins as they start the day. And we're going to take a look at the two trainers and some past history of them. And it's an annual event that this trainers title becomes a real slog late in the piece. All the top trainers struggle to get winners. And we're going to take a look at a graphic now. And you'll see on here, this is the season month by month for John Size and John Moore over the last 10 years. And you'll see that as the season gets late, both of them, their strike rate goes down. They find it harder to get winners because all their horses have already performed all year and gone up in the ratings. On average though, John Moore does perform better than John Size in July, and we've seen that so far this month. 6 wins to Moore, only 2 to John Size, and that's what has made this Trainers Championship so interesting. And that's what makes John Size's 2-win cushion so important at this late stage when winners are hard to get. But in the past, Size has had relatively low-key final days, but a couple of times we've seen John Moore pull out a really big performance. Now, if we have a look at their final day winners here in the recent history, twice John Moore's had 4 winners on the last day, and one of those was really important. In 2011, he went into the final day trailing by 2 wins behind Tony Cruz. He came out with the championship after saddling up 4 winners. So that's something he'll be hoping to replicate on Sunday at Sha Tin. And he does need at least 3 winners. 2 and a share of the lead isn't enough because John Size will win on the tiebreaker of second placings. So John Moore needs 3 winners to head Size off, and I think he might even need more than that, as we'll see later in the program. But first of all, we're going to take a look at race 1, and both Size and Moore and Zac Purton will be hoping that this event goes the right way. And I think John Moore's got one of the chances here. Our winning factor for this race, the distance. And this is a Class 5, 1800 metres, some of the usual suspects. But I think punters will settle on a number of horses as winning chances here. And one of those will be the John Moore and Zac Purton runner. That is Above. Also, there will be chances here for Mr. Monty dropping in class, Good Runner's Way getting out in distance further, Joe Moreira's ride Proud Sky, and also Celebration down at the foot of the weights has a winning chance here. As usual, no stars in Class 5, but all the wins count the same in these championships and the chase for records. So Purton and Moore will be hoping for something good from Above to break his maiden status, and we're going to see here that he's going well enough to win a race. Now we're going to go back 2 weeks ago to race 770, and Above was beaten by the runaway winner here, Hidden Spirit on the dirt. But you'll see him in red and yellow colours. He gets a nice run just behind the leaders when Purton tries to come outside at the top of the straight. But he gets put back inside by another runner, and like most Class 5 horses, Above did not really need his momentum stopped at that stage. It doesn't take much to put them off their game in this grade, and he had to balance up again and get going. He wouldn't have won the race, but he would certainly have run second had it not been for that incident. So he's certainly going all right at the moment. Now race 703 on the turf, 2,000 metres, 3 runs ago for Above. And here he had the blinkers on, which he has back on Sunday. And this is over 2,000 metres, and he clashes with the Proud Sky. He's in red, blue and yellow colours, and Celebration further back in the field in black and green. And you'll see that he gets a nice ride from Neil Callan here above. He makes a challenge, but can't go on with it. And you'll see over the final stages, Proud Sky and Celebration both get past Above in the run to the line. Now, since that day, Above has dropped in the ratings. He gets a sharp weight drop here, which makes him competitive again. But there are a couple of aspects of this race that I think swing the pendulum in a different direction. And we're going to have a look at the map. Two very interesting runners here, Mr. Monty with the 10-pound claimer and Captain Boss stepping up sharply in distance. And the pace that he's shown at a mile before would put him right in the lead here. So there is a bit of pace in this, and it looks a truly run race where Zac Purton probably looks compelled to be going forward on Above, while his two major challenges, in my view, Proud Sky and Celebration, will just wait behind the pace and pick their moment to issue a challenge. So the tip in race 1, Proud Sky. His winning factor, the distance. Now, this race lays out well for Proud Sky based on that run over 2,000 metres, but I think he's even better at 1,800 metres. He's won all 3 of his victories over that course and distance, and he also gets Joe Moreira, who's won 2 out of 4 on this stayer. Now, the second race we're going to look at on Sunday is race 4. Our winning factor here, the draw. And I think this is a really critical race in the day. It's only a Class 4, it doesn't carry any special prize money, but I think this is going to be a pivotal race for both Zac Purton's attempt on Joe Moreira's record and also the prospects of John Size being run down in the Trainers' Championship. Now, I don't see a lot of chances here. The one that stands out is Monkey Jewellery from the John Size yard, very unlucky last week, and also Superkin, trained by Casper Founds, ridden by Zac Purton, and they look to hold the key to this race. And obviously, if it's a win for Zac Purton, he's one step closer to that record, but a win for John Size with Monkey Jewellery is going to make it that much harder for John Moore to win the championship. As I said earlier, he needs 3 clear winners over Size on the day to win it. I think after this, he might even need 4 clear winners, and that is a really tough ask. So we're going to go back 7 days to race 795 of the season, and this was ugly if you backed Monkey Jewellery. You'll see him here in light pink colours, and very early in the race he's drifting back from a wideish gate, and he gets a bit of help from some other runners who knock him down, and he gets squeezed right out to last. After that, Joe Moreira is able to find his way across to the rail. He does a great job to save a lot of ground and fence up behind the leading group, turning for home, but then even that worked against him once they straightened up. He's held up for a run at a vital stage, and this was a race where they really only dashed down the straight, and it was hard to make ground, and he was unable to peg back Marvellous World and had to settle for second, but it certainly should have been a win. Now, the winner of that race was Marvellous World, and there's a link there to Superkin because that's one of the runners he contested a straight race against last month when he was making his racecourse debut. And you see Superkin here, he's in predominantly white and black colours, and he gets a bump at the start, sits in midfield behind Marvellous World, but he's able to run past that horse in the charge to the line and get himself into second placing. So that was a nice debut, and when we go to the map here, it's debutantes that might also play a role in this, maybe not in the finish, but certainly in the chase for the speed. Apollo's Bow and Solar Victory both have good speed from their barrier trials, and we also have a reliable front runner in Bingo. So although it looks like a slowly run race, their chemistry is going to be important to the race. But Monkey Jewellery, he's drawn better this week. That should enable him to sit a little bit closer than he was, certainly if he doesn't get that early interference. And then Zac Purton has a decision to make on Superkin with that awkward wide draw this time. But I wouldn't be surprised if Zac was positive, he often is, and looks to send the horse more forward rather than get stuck back in the ruck. But forward or back, it isn't straightforward for Superkin. So the tip in race 4, Monkey Jewellery. His winning factor, the draw. As I've highlighted, there are some disadvantages for Superkin in the draw, and I figured there were only really 2 strong chances to win this race. That leaves Monkey Jewellery from the better gate, and after that unlucky run last week, and he's ready to strike a decisive blow for John Size in the Trainers' Championship. Well, that's it for this week and this season on The Winning Factor. Thanks for being with us each week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next season.